Now we're going to look at the multiplication of fractions, and for this example we're going to look at we'll try this one. We'll try a very simple one again, half times a half. Now it's beneficial to us in order to see what's going on here is when we see that multiply sign there, it's useful for us to think of that as of. And I'll show you why now. If we go back to our pizza problem, and let's just say we take our half a pizza. Here it is. We're only going to deal with half of it now. And what we're saying in this particular multiplication is we want to know what half of a half is. And you'll probably all jump to the conclusion here that what we're talking about is this part of the pizza here. A half of that half pizza will be this part here. So if I let me just switch the color on that. There's our half of a half. So the answer that we're looking for with this is actually a quarter of a pizza. That's the answer we're after. Okay, so what's the maths look like? Well, again, the maths for multiplication is fairly straightforward. There are rules, of course, in much the same way that there are rules on the road. If you go up the wrong way of a motorway in a car, then you're going to end up smashing it. And that's the same with maths. If you follow the rules, you'll be fine. You try and deviate from the rules and you're going to crash. So what we're going to do then is look at the maths behind this answer, which we already know. So we've got a half there. We want to multiply that by another half. And the rule for multiplication is very different to the one for addition and subtraction. In the case of addition, or rather in the case of multiplication, what we're going to do is we're going to change my color. We're going to multiply the top numbers by each other. So in this case, we've got 1 times 1 is 1. And then we're going to multiply the bottom numbers by each other. So in this case, we've got 2 times 2 is 4. You'll notice as we go through these fractions that when we're doing some multiplication together or addition or whatever it is, it's very useful if you know your times tables, because this will give you easy access to these numbers that we're multiplying and dividing and so forth. So learning your tables is an important thing to do. Okay, so we've got a half times a half, and we've worked that out to be a quarter. If we take a look at our pizza now, we'll know from our experimental diagram that that is indeed correct. So the maths way here is the way that we can do the calculation, and we know that that is correct. So half of a half, or a half times a half, is in actual fact a quarter.